The Buddha and the Wild Elephant, a story of compassion and change. In a distant land, nestled among serene forests and tranquil rivers, there existed a peaceful Buddhist community. This community was a haven of harmony, where the teachings of the Buddha guided the villagers in their daily lives. The villagers lived in contentment, their hearts attuned to the rhythms of nature and the spiritual teachings that governed their world. However, this tranquility was soon shattered. From the depths of the nearby jungle, a fierce wild elephant named Nalagiri emerged, and his presence brought an aura of fear and destruction. Nalagiri was a majestic beast, towering over the tallest trees, with tusks that gleamed like ivory swords. His eyes, once gentle and wise, now burned with a wild, untamed fury. The villagers, who had once walked freely through the forest paths, now trembled at the thought of encountering this mighty creature. Nalagiri's rampages were unpredictable, and his strength seemed unstoppable, casting a shadow over the once peaceful community. Nalagiri's rampages became a daily occurrence, each one more devastating than the last. He would charge through the village, trampling crops, toppling houses, and sending people fleeing in terror. The serene paths where children once played and elders meditated were now marred by destruction and chaos. The villagers' peaceful lives were disrupted, and their hearts filled with fear. They could no longer gather in the evenings to share stories or enjoy the cool breeze by the river, for they were always on edge, listening for the ominous sounds of Nalagiri's approach. The harmony they cherished seemed like a distant memory, replaced by a constant state of anxiety and dread. Desperate for peace and safety, the frightened community turned to the Buddha, their revered spiritual guide. They gathered in the monastery, their faces etched with worry and hope, and implored the Buddha to save them from the wrath of Nalagiri. The Buddha, seated in serene meditation, listened to their pleas with compassion and understanding. His presence alone brought a sense of calm to the distraught villagers. They recounted their tales of fear and destruction, their voices trembling as they described the havoc Nalagiri had wreaked upon their homes and lives. With each word, the Buddha's resolve to help grew stronger. He knew that it was not only the villagers who needed solace, but also the tormented heart of Nalagiri. Hearing their pleas, the Buddha decided to confront Nalagiri and calm the beast. With a serene and unwavering gaze, he assured the villagers that he would bring peace back to their community. His words, though gentle, carried the weight of his profound wisdom and compassion. The villagers, though still anxious, found a glimmer of hope in the Buddha's promise. They watched as he prepared to set out on his journey, his simple robes rustling softly as he moved. The Buddha's heart was filled with a deep sense of purpose, knowing that this was not merely a confrontation, but an opportunity to transform anger into compassion. One sunny morning, the Buddha set out to meet Nalagiri, walking with serene confidence towards the heart of the forest where the elephant roamed. The air was crisp, and the sounds of the forest surrounded him, birds chirping, leaves rustling, and the distant call of animals. As he walked, the Buddha radiated a profound sense of peace, each step a testament to his unshakable inner calm. The villagers, watching from a distance, held their breath, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and hope. They could hardly believe that their gentle teacher was walking unarmed into the domain of the wild beast. As the Buddha approached, Nalagiri, sensing an intruder, charged with a thunderous roar, his eyes filled with fury. The ground trembled under the weight of his massive feet, and the air seemed to vibrate with his powerful presence. Trees swayed, and birds took flight, fleeing from the impending chaos. Nalagiri's rage was palpable, a force of nature that seemed unstoppable. The villagers, hidden at the edge of the forest, gasped in terror, unable to look away from the unfolding scene. It seemed impossible that anyone, even the Buddha, could stand against such raw, untamed power. Unfazed, the Buddha stood his ground, radiating compassion and calmness, chanting softly as Nalagiri drew near. His voice, though gentle, carried a soothing, melodic quality that seemed to weave through the air, reaching the tormented heart of the raging elephant. Nalagiri, charging with all his might, suddenly felt a wave of peace wash over him. His furious pace slowed, and he stopped just a few feet from the Buddha. The once fiery eyes of the elephant softened, and his massive body relaxed. Nalagiri's rage slowly dissipated, replaced by a profound sense of tranquility. The villagers watched in awe as the mighty beast, who had brought them so much fear, was now calm and gentle before their compassionate teacher. Nalagiri, overwhelmed by the Buddha's peaceful aura, halted in his tracks. His anger melted away like ice in the warm sun, and a deep sense of calmness enveloped him. The Buddha continued to chant softly, his eyes full of compassion and understanding. Nalagiri, once a symbol of uncontrollable rage, now stood quietly, his head lowered in a gesture of respect and submission. The villagers, still watching from the edge of the forest, were astounded by the miraculous transformation unfolding before their eyes. The very beast they had feared was now a picture of serenity, transformed by the Buddha's boundless compassion. Transformed by the Buddha's compassion, Nalagiri bowed before him, acknowledging the Buddha's spiritual power and wisdom. The Buddha gently reached out and touched Nalagiri's head, blessing him. From that moment, Nalagiri felt a profound shift within himself. He no longer harbored the wild, destructive tendencies that had once defined him. Instead, he felt a deep desire to protect and serve the very community he had terrorized. The villagers, witnessing this act of submission and transformation, felt their fears dissolve, replaced by a sense of gratitude and relief. They approached cautiously, no longer afraid of the once feared elephant. From that day on, Nalagiri became a guardian of the community, using his strength to protect rather than harm. He watched over the villagers, ensuring their safety and aiding them in their daily tasks. His massive form, once a source of dread, now brought a sense of security and comfort. The children, who had once cowered in fear, now played around him, laughing and joyous. Nalagiri had found a new purpose, channeling his immense strength into acts of kindness and protection. The villagers, in turn, embraced him as one of their own, their hearts filled with gratitude for the Buddha's miraculous intervention. The story of Nalagiri spread far and wide, becoming a symbol of how compassion and understanding can transform even the wildest of hearts. People from distant lands came to see the elephant who had been tamed by the Buddha's compassion. Nalagiri's transformation became a beacon of hope, teaching that even the most fearsome beings could find peace through love and understanding. The village thrived under his protection, and the teachings of the Buddha continued to guide them. The tale of Nalagiri, the wild elephant turned protector, lived on, inspiring countless others to believe in the power of compassion and the possibility of transformation. The story of Nalagiri the elephant is a powerful testament to the transformative power of compassion and understanding. Nalagiri, once feared and wild, was tamed not by force, but by the gentle, unwavering compassion of the Buddha. This tale teaches us that no matter how fierce or lost someone may seem, there is always a possibility for change through the power of kindness and love. It reminds us that within each of us lies the potential to transform and to help others transform. If you enjoyed this story, I invite you to explore more tales of inspiration and overcoming adversity available on my YouTube channel. Join us in discovering the incredible power of stories to inspire and transform. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to sharing more uplifting stories with you.